convocation led by Pastor Sandy McQueen, True Vine Baptist Church, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Shall we pray? Eternal God, our Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day, and I ask that you forgive us our sins, then empower us with your love, and then order our steps in your word. Prepare this city council and mayor with purpose and wisdom as they serve all citizens. Lord, your presence is welcome once again amid this city council. Thank you for another term of our mayor. Thank you for the newly appointed and the re-elected council members. Give each of them the energy to do their part as your will be done while blessing this city in bountiful ways. Bless this country and nation. This prayer I ask in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Shall we all say amen? Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. President Small.
Here.
Vice President Gregory.
Here.
Councilmember Penn.
Here.
Councilmember Carroll.
Here.
Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Statement of rules.
And good morning, everyone. It's another good day in Mobile, Alabama. Statement of rules. At this time, I ask if anyone have any type of electronic device, please put it on the off or the vibrate position. Again, the off or the vibrate position. Any person desiring to address the council must sign in indicating the resolution, ordinance, appeal, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, the speaker must state his or her name and address. Any person desiring to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk office no later than 2:00 p.m. on the Thursday prior to the council meeting. The subject he or she wishes to address must be identified and pertain to the city of Mobile business. Any person who has not given proper notice to the city clerk office wishes to speak to the council on a non-agenda item would not be allowed to address the council. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to address the council. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 2 minutes. 1 minute remains for summarizing. The second bell indicates the time had expired. When addressing the council, there will be no personal address to any individual council members. All statements are to be made to the chair, who will recognize any council members who wishes to respond. Madam Clerk.
Approval of minutes of October 19th.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Communications from the mayor.
Good morning. It's good to see everybody this morning. Today I'm going to make an announcement about Nonprofit Awareness Month, but I would like to come to the podium, please. Would be Leslie Schrader, Catherine Pittman, and really the whole group of ladies. If y'all want to come down, I see Kate Carver, Amy Risser, and others. I won't try to name everybody because I'm sure I will leave some out. And Leslie, it's my understanding that you will make some remarks on behalf of United Way once you receive the proclamation. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what I've been told as well.
Okay, very, very good. We both just do what people tell us to do. Is that
Yep.
right? Okay. So the proclamation reads, whereas nonprofit organizations are formed to help improve the quality of life for individuals and the community, and whereas these organizations impact every facet of life by contributing to the substantial needs and services of the general public. The South Alabama Coalition of Nonprofits is a local group of nonprofit organizations who represent organizations of a common purpose and goal, and whereas, in an effort to expand partnerships and gain social engagement, the coalition works to continuously build an effective relationship with local public officials by hosting the annual elected officials reception, and whereas through strategic goals and objectives, the increase for advocacy and public awareness is accomplished, and whereas the importance and benefits of nonprofit organizations help to address issues and provide a voice for public demand, increasing the effectiveness and economic growth and community development. Now therefore, I, William S. Stimson, the 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby formally proclaim November as the Nonprofit Awareness Month in the City of Mobile, done on the second day of November 2021. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you, City Council and Mr. Mayor. We appreciate your acknowledgement of how important the nonprofit community is to Mobile and Baldwin County. There are so many that need extra support, and the health of the community safety net, which these agencies and many others are a part of, are crucial to the health of the community as a whole. So we really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the 18th to talk about the agenda and all of the things going on in our wonderful community. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think she wants a picture of y'all, if y'all can turn around and look up the steps.
Thank you. We're all in runaway mode.
Thank you very much for all the great work that you do in the community. It means a lot to so many of us and to the entire community. Since the election, the administration has been working on a 1,000-day framework for action, and today we are going to show you a video which talks about the first 100 days. We're actually kicking off the first 100 days, and the idea is that we want to, in fulfilling the original vision of creating one Mobile to become a safer, more business and family-friendly city, the next 4 years our theme is going to be to do that through action, to inspire Mobile to unite through action. So this will give you an idea of what we'll be doing to roll that out, but there will be many projects that will be announced during that 100-day period. There'll either be the beginning of the project, a major milestone during the project, or the completion of the project. But the idea is that all across the city of Mobile, you'll start seeing things that are happening, start to increase the tempo so that we can continue with the momentum that we've already have, and starting with this new city council, it's time to roll. So let's go.
Eight years ago, we cast a bold vision to become one Mobile, a safer, more business and family-friendly city, and you shared that vision. Well, we know a lot more now than we did back then, but that vision has not changed. Mobile is undergoing a transformation, and in the last campaign, we told you that we're not done yet. My team and I have been laying the groundwork to make the first 100 days of my third term the most productive ever. We know that to truly inspire Mobile to unite through action, it's going to take leading by example. In the next 100 days, major goals will be accomplished. We will implement advanced technologies like gunshot detection, target violent offenders, partner with local, state, and federal agencies, upgrade facilities, and more to protect Mobile. We will rebuild streets, improve traffic flow, increase walkability, push for a solution to the bridge,
Trying to build that bridge right now.
increase walkability, push for a solution to the bridge,
The Wi-Fi.
increase walkability, push for a solution to the bridge,
One more try.
flow. Increase walkability, push for a solution to the bridge,
Thank you very much. We will not hold up the rest of the city council meeting waiting on trying to get the media fixed.
Years ago, we cast a bold vision to become one Mobile, a safer, more business and family-friendly city, and you shared that vision. Well, we know a lot more now than we did back then. That vision has not changed. Mobile is undergoing a transformation, nonetheless. Improve traffic flow, increase walkability, push for a solution to the bridge, and help fully fund the construction of a
Kill it. We will show that when the technology is, when we understand the technology better. But thank y'all.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
do you have it on thumb drive?
I don't have it on a thumb drive. Maybe we can get one before the end of the meeting.
Yeah, we can just.
Yeah, we'll do that.
include it
Thank
at the
you.
end of the meeting.
Appreciate it.
All right.
That's it.
Madam Clerk?
Finish. Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Appeals. Today is the appeal of Rashawn Figures concerning the ARB's denial of his request for to replace windows, doors, and install a mural at 809 Government Street.
Move delay over till January 4th.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing to declare the structure at 1162 Congress Street a public nuisance and order it demolished.
Now, this opened up the public hearing for 1162 Congress Street. Is anyone present in the audience that would like to speak on this particular property? If so, at this time, we ask that you come down and give your name and your address. Madam Clerk. Mike.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jennifer Hinton Irby. I'm here on behalf of my family that lives on the corner of Ann Street and Congress, right there where we're talking about. Every other day in that general area of that address, there is fights, there are drug deals, it's prostitution, and just this past Friday, there was a shooting there that occurred between 1152 and that little white store on Congress Street. My family, the Caffeys, some others, and the Hintons and McNeils, we've been trying very hard to clear this area up. It is run down, and we need your help. My family needs your help to clean this up. Anywhere from Spring Hill to that 1152 Congress Street, all the way over from Congress and Ann to Davis Avenue and Ann. This blighted property, the prostitute, we just want it all taken away if you can.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is anyone else present that would like to come down and speak on this particular property? If not, this public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Reggie Hill.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Unity, sacrifice, divine intervention. Those are symbols for the voices being heard. Be a good neighbor. Every single person in the city having business to be moved forward on their behalf. Leadership is solving problems. Reflecting on 16 years of service. Where are we going? I rise today to speak on a matter that has been before the courts. Based on the conflicting weakness.
Mr. Hill, name and
exuded by
address, please.
My apologies. We only have 180 seconds. We have to do our best with that. Reggie Hill, 1007 Center Street. To the citizens and stakeholders of Mobile.
Thank you.
Good morning. Based on the conflicting weakness exuded by the Circuit Court of Mobile County, Alabama, and its retreating inability to act effectively on behalf of justice, it is now necessary to seek the vested power of higher authorities, which shall hold the position in leadership accountable and entertain the represented sentiments from thousands of duly qualified and legally eligible voters. If not, we will continue to find that inner circles, money, prejudice, and bigotry warrant more value and necessity than the people, voting rights, justice, and adherence to the United States Constitution. Speaking specifically right now, black people all across this country, particularly in the South, especially in Mobile, Alabama, rarely find contrition from government officials. By no means am I insisting that this is from whites alone. As evidence shows, black people in leadership have caused nearly insurmountable damages in the same communities through desire to be accepted, acquire substance, self-gain, or survive in the political arena. Unfortunately, more times than not, however, law enforcement and certain courts are the root reason for such tribulation. We witness where the body with the highest right to rule lawfully in Mobile County honored and hoarded meaningless technicalities in order to cover up collusive efforts by our city to keep certain individuals in their place and continue fostering discriminatory practices demonstrated by archaic thinking decision makers in the good old part of Dixie. We witness where those entrusted with the highest right to rule in Mobile County suggest that all reported victors of the 2021 Mobile municipal election, each of you, be sued. Such a gesture is unconstitutional, mainly because all resolutions which appear before the City Council agenda must include a sponsor. Therefore, the responsibility and liability of this matter rests with parliamentary procedure. This kind of flirts with nominating a president and vice president of the council on one motion, or someone other than the chair adjourning the first business meeting. In 1878,
That's just, all right, thank you, Mr. Hill.
I'll finish it next week. Thanks for yielding the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor. I'm going to try this one more time.
8 years ago, we cast a bold vision to become one Mobile, a safer, more business and family-friendly city, and you shared that vision. Well, we know a lot more now than we did back then, but that vision has not changed. Mobile is undergoing a transformation, and in the last campaign, we told you that we're not done yet. My team and I have been laying the groundwork to make the first 100 days of my third term the most productive ever. We know that to truly inspire Mobile to unite through action, it's going to take leading by example. In the next 100 days, major goals will be accomplished. We will implement advanced technologies like gunshot detection, target violent offenders, partner with local, state, and federal agencies, upgrade facilities, and more to protect Mobile. We will rebuild streets, improve traffic flow, increase walkability, push for a solution to the bridge, and help fully fund the construction of a new commercial passenger terminal at Brooklyn to connect Mobile for our citizens with lower airfares and more direct flights and connect our economy to the nation and the world. We're going to improve entertainment and recreation opportunities, upgrade our playing fields, activate our riverfront with a Hall of Fame courtyard, introduce a new plan for the Civic Center, and start the design of Brooklyn by the Bay so that everyone across our city can truly enjoy Mobile. We will announce new affordable housing developments, kick off programs aimed at preserving affordable homes, and introduce a plan for annexation so that we can finally grow Mobile. We're going to invest in new jobs and economic growth, simplify the business license process, expand disadvantaged business opportunities, and seize upon Mobile's economic momentum to spark job creation and hire Mobile. We'll improve our city's ability to bounce back from storms or pandemics, introduce new litter solutions, improve recycling options, make a more efficient, more responsive, and more ready Mobile. And we're going to improve the Mobile experience, focus on ecotourism, elevate the rich cultural history and story of Africatown, and bring back our cruise ship to elevate tourism and put our best foot forward for those who come to visit Mobile. Most importantly, we cannot accomplish all of this without your help. For more details about how you can get involved and to see the full list of our 100-day agenda, visit cityofmobile.org/100 days, follow us on social media, and sign up for my nightly newsletter. Day one of the 100-day agenda starts now.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Ordinance is held over. 64036, rezone property located at 2551 Casale Street from R1 to B1.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance passed.
Resolution is held over. If there are no objections, I'll take all of these together with the exception of 21966, which we've been asked to table. 08960, 961, 962, 963, 964 are approving purchase orders to Precision Data Corporation, UJ Chevrolet, Dana Safety Supply, Rush Truck Centers, and CDW Government. 21965, authorized contract with J. Payne Organization for Hurricane Sally plaster ceiling repairs at the Civic Center. 21967, authorized contract with Southern Road and Bridge for pedestrian bridge over Water Street. 21968, authorized contract with ACP Green and Associates for professional services for planning and for long-range planning support. 21970, authorized contract with Spire for marketing services for the Parks and Recreation Departments. 31971, authorized covenant, and 972, authorizing covenant of purpose, use and ownership for 3 Mile Creek Greenway Trail and for ownership of the 3 Mile Creek Watershed Restoration Project. 31973, authorized grant application for the fiscal year 21 buses and bus facilities program for replacement of 12 buses in the Wave Transit System fleet.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Ms. Gregory?
If Colonel Dillette, just very briefly, just give us the details of 971 and 972, if you don't mind.
So really, for 971, 972, the 3 Mile Creek project, it really involves not just the Greenway Trail, but really 3 Mile Watershed. It includes 12 Mile Creek. That's a sub-piece of the 3 Mile Creek Watershed. In order to proceed on those projects, those are federally restore funded projects. The Restore Fund was what funded the bulk of those projects. And the federal government has certain requirements that we have to do to follow in order to execute the work. And so there's a lot of back and forth between the city and the federal government in process that we normally wouldn't have to do if it was just city funds. And so these are just both transactions which we need to ensure get done to be able to properly acquire property as well as move forward in the project. So I'm happy to answer any other further questions on it if anyone has any on it. But overall, this is just a step in the process to be able to get forward so we can actually start work.
Right. No,
Mr. President, question.
Hold on 1 second. Ms. Gregory, finish?
No, that's fine. This is for both sides, correct? Both sides.
Say again?
These are for both sides of the interstate?
That's right.
The two
Yeah.
projects. Okay.
Finish. Ms. Carroll?
Yeah, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
one question with the federal impacts here. What is it that they're looking to achieve? Or is it just the foundational framework of this, or are they actually trying to describe what purpose we have to use this for?
No, that's already been established. So that was established in kind of when we were allowed to move forward and be given the permission to, get the money and do the project. So this is just establishing, this is kind of a step in the process as we go through. This is what this is actually is specifically giving is the covenant of purpose for the project. So, and the project, it describes kind of where we're going to do the work and that we're actually going to execute the work as we said in our design and layout. So we just have to portray that back to the federal government so that they understand what we're going to do as we said we were going to do it originally. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Ms. Carroll?
would you kindly state openly the area on 3 Mile Creek from what point to what point the project's going to be done so that the general public knows where the starting point is and the finish point? Because once you cross over Stone Street, 3 Mile Creek in the watershed continues down out to the river, and there's also tributaries that go behind Osage Street and everywhere else. So it'd be nice if the general public actually knew where we were starting the project and where it was finishing.
Well, this particular project is the 12 Mile Creek branch of the 3 Mile Creek watershed, and it's from Langen Lake, kind of where it empties into Langen Lake, and back up to the west from there.
Back up to the west. So we're saying Langham Lake, that's municipal park, correct?
Correct.
So we're going from municipal park west.
Yes, I think that's generally west. Is it east from there? Yeah, east.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
correction.
east to what point?
I'd have to get you the specific point. It's not that far of a distance, but I'll get you the specific point.
Thank you so much. I mean, everyone knows that District 2 really has a big part of 3 Mile Creek in it, especially from Stone Street back over to Conception Street. And for years, we've been trying to revitalize that area, especially the Hickory Street landfill area. That's prime property for this district, prime property which we can help to revitalize and add housing and other things too, once we get those types of things done in our district.
Any other council members? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.
21966, authorized contract with the South Alabama Regional Planning Commission for the operation of 3 sales centers.
Move to table. All right.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Stable.
Consent resolutions being introduced, 03982 through 03994.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of items 03 through 03-982 through 03-994.
Second.
All right, properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
I'll take all these together with the exception of 4986. 03982, 983, 984 are appointing Danny Williamson to the Mobile Civic Center Advisory Board, reappointing David McGrath to the City of Mobile Citizens Budget and Finance Advisory Committee, reappointing Michael Kane to the Electrical Examiners Board. 31985, authorized grant application to the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs for the fiscal year 21 equipment grant for equipment upgrades for the Mobile Police Department. 58987, assess costs for removal of weeds, repeat weedling group 50. 60988, approved monies for stipend for Captain Garrett to attend the FBI National Academy. 58989, authorized removal of weeds, Group 1619. 03994, appoint William C. Carroll III to the Board of Adjustment.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr.
if I
Carroll.
could, and I'm taking advantage of this, I am actually appointing my son to the Board of Adjustments. William is a civil engineer. He's a graduate of Jackson State. He's a licensed independent adjuster. He's structural analysis. He understands zoning. He has all the qualifications that make him a good appointment to this board. But the other thing is that he's young. He's 26. He wants to be civically engaged in our city, along with 2 more people in the audience that were heavily involved with us, that are, one's a Baylor grad, the other one's a West Point grad. It's time that we start engaging the youth in our community so that they can be civically engaged and encouraged to stay here, so that they stay here along with their friends. These are the types of things and entities that we need to do for them, like they did for me and us when we were coming through the process. So I'm glad to appoint him, and I'll also be appointing these other 2 up here as positions become open to them. Please wave for me. West Point grad, Baylor grad, from Mobile, early 20s, early 30s. This is our future. They have the knowledge base, and they're hungry to be involved, and I'm glad to help them become involved in the city.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.
4986, declare the structure at 1162 Congress Street a public nuisance and order it demolished.
Motion to hold over 2 weeks.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, I just want to, so that Ms. Irby knows, this is not saying that we're not going to improve the property. There are other entities in the city that may be actually able to restore the property and put a individual family in there that's of need. The city has other projects going on that I don't know if it qualifies for, but I'd like to find out first. If you're aware, I heard you name the Cafes and everyone else, but you know, Miss Inez Herman's house was right there on the corner, then the Cafes, and then across the street it was the Cafe store. So I'm extremely familiar with the neighborhood. My mother came from 254 South Pine Street, you know, and her mother owned 4 or 5 of those houses right there on Congress Street. So you know I know what I'm talking about. That house may actually qualify as a historic structure, and it may be able to be solved. So many times we're destroying the fabrics of our own neighborhoods because we're not taking the time to find out if someone can save them or restore them. So if it comes to the point where it can't be saved and we continue to have the problems that we're having, believe me, I will quickly move forward with this, but I would just like to see if there's an entity out there that can help us save it so we can put a family in that property that really needs a place to live.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.
Resolutions being introduced, 08990 through 21992.
By council rules, these resolutions will be laid over for 1 week.
Call for public hearings, 41993, call for public hearings to rezone property located at 4459 Government Boulevard, southeast corner of Government Boulevard and Demetropolis Road, from B2 to B3, scheduled November 30th.
So moved.
Second.
And properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearings called.
Announcements.
Well, we're going to start with the only lady on this council, the minority. District 7,
Gosh.
Ms. Gina Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of announcements. If you don't know already, the Greater Gulf State Fair is at the fairgrounds this week. It runs through November 7th. Please come on out and enjoy. Just be aware, though, if you live in the area, of course, that adds to the traffic on Ziegler and Cody Roads in particular. And speaking of Ziegler, if that is one of your normal routes on a daily basis, there are a couple of detours out there because of some work going on in connection with the widening project. So just look for the signs and take those detours. And if it takes you a little extra time to get out onto University or to Moffett, just please be patient with us. But just be aware, we do have some detours, but this is all about widening Ziegler Boulevard, which we are very excited to see. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Vice President Gregory. Gonna move over here to my twin today. If he wears a bow tie next week, I'm gonna go to a tie. District 5, Mr. Days. Yeah, okay. Fraternity brother, Mr. Carroll, District 2.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. It was nice to see the 100-day plan unveiled this morning. Kind of got a brief view of it last night on YouTube. It's good to see what we're putting out there. But again, I'm going to ask the administration, as the clock ticks, that was so politely in the commercial, to be transparent with reapportionment and redistricting. I think the census was released sometime in August, which means that sometime in February there should be a plan in place, and the council should be moving forward, with that plan. So I don't know where the administration is on that, and hopefully there's a transparency portion of that will include the community in all the districts. Secondly, in the audience today, I see a lot of pastors up there. We are all aware of the gun violence that we've recently had, especially at Ladd Stadium. And again, I'm going to state that the stadium didn't shoot anyone. It was unfortunately that we had an event out there. Pastor Marvin Liu from Stewart Memorial is currently the state liaison for, is it violence or whatever it is, but I may take a point of personal privilege according to Robert's Rule of Orders and ask him to come down and speak for a second, but I may not do that because our president may not let us do it today, but I'd like you to come back later and do it. But the public needs to know that these ministers and pastors and coaches are in our community and are a resource where our youth who may be committing these gun crimes listen to them sometimes a whole lot faster and a whole lot quicker than they would the police. They see them every day. They see them every Sunday. They respond to us, I should say to them, I'm speaking as a coach now, but they respond to them and the community a whole lot faster. And this is a resource that we as leaders need to use. So I'm going to ask the administration that as we go forward, that we reach out maybe on a quarterly basis to these ministers and to their group so that they can help us everywhere from the school system to our parks and rec system and even in our communities as we reach out and try to curtail gun crime in our district. Mr. President, also coming to Plateau soon, I don't have a date yet, there's a rezoning in Plateau where we need to host a community meeting on the issue so I can get a full understanding of whether the community is behind this, if they're okay, or if there's some adjustments that need to happen. Hopefully we will have that date for you next week. There's one on the agenda for the 16th that I may ask to be laid over for an additional week to make sure that the community is properly notified.
Mr. Carey, this is the announcement period that you want Pastor Lou to come down and speak for like a minute.
Mr. President, if I could have that point of personal privilege under Robert's Rules of Order, I would graciously take advantage of it if he would like to come to the podium.
Okay, just give us something for 1 minute, that would be great. This is during the announcement period, of course.
Good morning, Council, Brother President, Councilman Carroll, and Mayor Stimson and your staff. Being a Morehouse man, I know I only have a minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon me. Didn't choose it, but I cannot refuse it, especially when it comes to the welfare of our community. We are Faith in Action, Alabama, the Mobile Hub. I have served as the chair since its inception in 2015. Now I am the chief community organizer for this area. We are planning a community action on next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. entitled Stop Now, Live Now, We Want to Live. What we will be doing is sharing with the community testimonies of victims, testimonies of preacher pastors, and testimonies of former perpetrators of gun violence, and proposing to the public and to the policyholders of our city a plan that we believe will reduce the gun violence in Mobile. But it's going to take one step at a time. We've been working on this for the last 3 to 4 years, but now is the time for the community to see what we've been working on and for a buy-in from those seated in this room, because you represent us, but you cannot represent us until we share what's really going on. Brother President, thank you for this time of sharing.
Could you give us
name and address, please?
I'm sorry. I am Marvin Charles Lou Jr., pastor of the Stewart Memorial CME Church, 1266 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, the heart of the avenue. Next Thursday, 6:30 p.m., 1 hour only, at November the 11th at Stewart Memorial CME Church. Faith in Action Mobile Hub, along with our community partners, will be sharing a community action entitled Stop Now, Live Now, We Want to Live. Hashtag the 251 shall live.
Pastor Lou, can I ask you just a couple questions there?
Yes, sir.
Are you finished, Mr. Carroll?
I'm fine. Yes, sir.
One, thank you so much for coming down and expressing and the invitation for next week. Two things. Do you have this on a PDF that you can share with the council and we can probably put in our newsletters?
Yes, sir. Brother President, I sent a copy to you and I believe Councilman Carroll last night. However, we will be able to redo that this afternoon following City Council so that the entire council, the mayor's office, and others may have a piece of this week's marketing tool. And then next week, we will send out the official flyer for the event. But this week, we want this to roll off people's tongues. Stop now. Live now. We want to live. The 251 shall live.
You sent it to my personal email?
Yes.
Okay. Well, nothing like I checked my city email. Okay. And Yeah, that's what I get ready to say. If you can send it to the clerk office and she can distribute it among all the council members, and we can probably also put it in our newsletter also. The second question I have for you, have you contacted anyone with the administration with your event on next week?
We have moderator or Pastor David Frazier and Rabbi Stephen Silverman, who are responsible in making those connections. They have already begun that process. I personally will follow up with them again today as well, so that all who we would like to be in the building will officially hear from myself or the rest of our team to know we need your face to hear our voices.
I believe that Ms. Anitra Henderson.
If I might,
yes.
Commander Graves over strategic initiatives is aware of it, and he's put it on my agenda as well as the chiefs.
Okay.
Right, and it's on our agenda, and community affairs will be there as well.
Thank you all so much. Yeah, we can advocate all day long, but we need their help too.
Yes,
and
sir.
everything. So just try to keep everybody in the loop, especially what's going on in the city.
Yes, sir.
Because it's not just a one-person thing, it's all of ours.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. District 1, Councilman Penn.
Thank you, Mr. President. Also, I want to thank Pastor for coming down as a minister. I know the challenges that we're seeing in our community, especially in my community, where we had a 16-year-old that was killed by a 15-year-old. As a former educator at Chastain Middle School in Trinity Garden, I lost over 15 kids to gun violence, and it's time for change. So I'm there to support, and I'm going to be there in any way I can to help. With that being said, I'm excited to announce about the I'm District 1 Challenge. It's something that we're going to keep going. You'll get more information, but basically the I'm District 1 Challenge is we're asking residents, business owners, people who worship, pastors, to be a part of this challenge. And that's given 1 hour a month to serve your community, to clean up your community, to read to the kids. More information will be coming out about the I'm District 1 Challenge. And also, I want to thank all the voters of District 1 for coming out and voting. I'm excited being elected, and I'm here to serve. Thank you again. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman Penn. We're going to go down to District 6, Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to get back to the gun violence. I'm a graduate of Viger High School, 1983. The current principal of Viger High School graduated with me. He invited us to that game. I was that close to being there, and I had other obligations that prevented me from being there. It was disappointing, made me mad. I think it made everybody here mad. It should have evoked some type of negative emotion out of everybody in here. I watched finger pointing and blame assessed from the leadership of the school board. Leaders don't point to others and put blame on them. Leaders accept acknowledgement for failures and fix it. But it's not just their responsibility. It's not just our responsibility. It's everybody in Mobile's responsibility to fix this. It's the neighbors. It's the business leaders. It's the community leaders. It's the pastors. And we have to come together. The mayor's talked about uniting. This is uniting. This was a national news story. That's not the news that I want to be associated with Mobile, Alabama. We have to get this cancer cut out, and the only way to do it is to floodlight it, get everybody's attention on it, and fix it. These folks running around with guns are cowards, and I'm calling them out today. I am not going to cower down to you. It's time that we rise up above it, hold them accountable. Judicial system, start prosecuting cases. We've got folks on the streets that we should not have on the streets that's making their job harder. Fix the system. This is a holistic approach. We can't do it by ourselves. The judicial system has to help us. I'm committed to working with everybody in here to get that fixed. Let's switch to a positive story. 6 days ago, I don't know if you saw it, Canadian National is a railroad company that pulls freight out of our port. They did a story 6 days ago that I put on my Facebook page. They pulled the most cargo in one day from the terminal at Alabama Port. Everybody knows what's going on in California. Mobile, Alabama provided solutions. I ran this campaign for about 5 months. I would get 50 or 60 shares on anything that I submitted, max. I shared that story. As of right this second, 5,383 shares. 5,383 shares about good news that Mobile, Alabama is doing. We are having an impact in the nation in a positive way. Thank you, Mr. John Driscoll, for having the vision years ago to get us where we are today. That's the vision we need. We spent millions at the port. We just opened a Ro-Ro facility. Our cargo centers are leading the nation in capabilities and capacity. That's Mobile, Alabama. Let's sell it. I want to thank the city clerk's office. You know, if you watch a duck and they're going across the water, it looks effortless. They're just gliding along. But if you look under the water, those legs are going 1,000 miles an hour. Over the course of the last few weeks, you've seen a huge transition take place here. You've seen folks with decades of service get farewelled and leave the offices upstairs, and you've seen 4 new faces come down here and take those places. That is a monumental task that these ladies did, and I'll tell you, they did it in a manner that is professional, and thank you very much, and I appreciate that. The last thing that I would say is, in District 6, thank you for you putting your faith and trust in me. I'm here to serve you. November the 18th, if you're out there listening, November the 18th, the Connie Hudson Center, 6:30 p.m. We'll have our first town hall meeting. I'm going to come out and meet you there. Look forward to that. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Dave. I thought that Fred Richardson retired, but we're going to go to District 4. Councilman Reynolds.
No announcements.
Okay. And greetings to the citizens of District 3. Planning on announcing some big holiday dates coming up next week. Things that we was not able to do last year because of the pandemic. And as long as the numbers are going down, we plan on having some celebration this coming year if the Lord will. And again, still watching the numbers, but next week the Lord will. And if I be here, I may have jury duty next Tuesday, unfortunately. But if not, I will be announcing some important dates. Anything else from this council? Mayor, administration? If not, all hearts, minds is clear. This move to adjourn.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?